Hello, Flosstube. It's Pam, stitching between the lines. Today is Monday, December 2nd, 2024, and this is Flosstube number 144. So we're getting there to the end of the year. Holy cow, December. First, let me do this. I will put in my, the subtitle description that this video is about my WIPGO plans. And I know sometimes that draws viewers, so appreciated that somebody would stop by because of that. I love a whip parade. That's what draws me in. So anyway, I will put that in there. So I feel like I need to introduce myself a little bit more than I normally do. So I'm Pam, stitching between the lines, and I've been doing Flosstube for 8 years. I think we're winding up 8 years. I did my first one, I think, in January of 2017. So 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Yeah, that's 8 years in January. So I came over from my blog, but also called Stitching Between the Lines. I haven't updated it since I started Flosstube because, the blogs look so flat compared to being able to see people in this like three-dimensional mode now and listen to them. So anyhow, I'm a mom. I am retired. I worked. I'm an accountant by profession. I worked in the court system, seen a lot of things. Every time you think you've seen it all, you see some more. I have 3 grown kids, 2 married, 1 grandchild. We live in Western New York, where we did not get dumped on by snow, thank God. West of here, about an hour, there's a town. I was watching the news, as one does. Not a lot of it over the holiday weekend. One town out that way got 38 inches of snow and was expecting another foot or so in the last foot to 12 to 24 inches is what they said. I don't know if they got it. So if you're unfamiliar with what lake effect snow is snow that occurs because of a weather pattern that passes over one of a lake. In our case, the Great Lakes. So New York has 2 Great Lakes that border it, Lake Erie to the west, and Lake Erie is a long, skinny lake that when the wind or anything comes from the west, it just shoots off the end of that lake and hits the Buffalo area. And then our northern border is Lake Ontario. So when there's lake effect coming from the west, it hits, the towns that are to the west of the end of Lake Ontario. If lake effect comes from the north and comes down, then anything south of either of those lakes, Lake Erie, like Lake Ontario, get the weather. I live in the Finger Lakes, so we have a very small version of lake effect snow. Again, when weather passes over the lakes, it does things, whether the lake is warm or whether the lake is cold or whether the lake has moisture in the air. And I'm not a weather person. I just know that weather can be very different based on where you are relative to the lake. So New York got a lot of snow in various areas because of lake effect. And there was a storm coming from somewhere else that hit like some areas in our southern border. So I was very glad that I was home. So anyway, I live in the Finger Lakes, live on one of the lakes, and we actually divide our time between this house and a house up in the city near where we live. And my kids all live up around there. We used to have a house in Florida that we sold in the COVID-y times. Lots of reasons we're not going to go there from here. And we ended up buying a house back in the city where we came from way back when, before we had kids, up that way. And we spend our winters up there, which is kind of funny. Most people that live on the lakes come in the summer and they go back to Florida in the winter. But we go, there are people who live in the nearby cities who come here. This is their summer homes. So when I hop between houses, that's what I'm doing. Last year, when our granddaughter was a baby and my daughter went back to work, I was already at our winter house there for the winter and stayed all the way till the school year ended and took care of her. Our goal was to keep her out of daycare for the first year of her life, which we did. And there's a reason 60-something-year-old people don't have babies. So it was, I think other than her parents, I am her favorite person. She wants to see grandma. She wants to be at grandma's house. She wants to go in grandma's car. All the things. So she's of course the light of our life right now, is, probably for the rest of her life. Um, so I watch her still one day every week or two. This week I have her two times. So we were up there at that house for the whole week leading up to Thanksgiving. That house is a stone's throw from Hobby House. I know. It feels like, yeah, like, is that a real thing? Yeah. So, um, I didn't go there. I don't go there a lot. It's still nice. It's nice to know there's a shop I can run to for flosses or whatever, and fabric. That's what they have a lot of, is fabric. They have a quilt shop as part of their store now, and a Woolworks. They had the Woolworks and the quilt store in a much smaller scale when they were at their last building. So anyway, that's kind of a nice, neat thing to be near that. What else? I don't know. Like I said, all my kids are grown and they're doing their thing, and they all live in various directions from our house, 10-15 minutes. So when we do big family gatherings, it's usually at that house. Although in the summer, you come to the lake. So yeah, okay. So that's all about me that anybody needs to know or cares to know, and maybe more than you want to know. I don't know. I will say, as I'm on this roll, I'm just gonna get it out of the way, get it out of me. Okay, I don't know. It's not an easy one. For those of you who have watched me before or follow along or whatever, ever since the first video I did, occasionally featured my cats, and certainly I talked about my cats. We lost one of them early after we moved here, the summer of 2020 or 2021. I don't remember which. And very recently, in the last couple weeks, we lost Cooper. I mentioned in the last video that he was on some medication. That was sort of our last ditch effort. So yeah, so the thing that it's always hard to lose a pet. I got my first cat when I got my first apartment out of college, when I got my first big job. I don't know where the camera is. Let me test. Sorry. Okay. I'm looking in the right place, but when I see myself, I feel like I'm looking off in the distance. So I got my first cat when I got my first apartment, my first real job right out of college. And I've almost, in those 40 years, never been without a cat. There was a little gap of about 18 months, 20 months maybe, when my youngest was in college. No, my youngest was in high school. My oldest was in college. The middle one was somewhere in between. And we had our house in Florida, and we were kind of like feeling our way as to what kind of time we'd be spending down there. And we didn't really have, we had a cat sitting business person like that used to come, but if you were going to be gone for any length of time, that was not enough. And so we kind of went without for a while because we didn't know what was going to happen. And then my oldest daughter graduated college and got a job in our area. And so I adopted my last two boys, allegedly brothers. They were a pair anyway, from the same home. Some tragic circumstances, but boy, were they nice kitties. They were so glad to have a house. And then now, because we're spending our time, hopping up to the other house, over the last couple of years, we just always made sure somebody was here. One of my kids maybe would come if we were going to be away together, but they all have pets or a baby. And so things have gotten really complicated in the pet care, pet sitting, and cats aren't like dogs, as I'm sure most of you know. Oh, look at that sun. There was no sun. It was gray, miserable, and then there it is. It looks like it's going to snow. So the fact that there's a little break of sunshine is kind of nice. So cats not being like dogs, they don't be like, hey, you want to go in the car? No, they don't. So running back and forth with them, I would only do that if I was there for the whole winter. Or when baby was born and my son got married and all that happened real close together, I was up there for a month. I took him with me. But right now we're real choppy in our time. This house is 2 miles from where my husband works. It's an hour from here. So he commutes an hour unless we're up there, and then he commutes 2 minutes, 2 miles, 10 minutes. No, I don't even think it takes 10 minutes. So right this second, we're without a cat, and it's going to be, it's a trial already. It's a trial. So anywho, enough of that. You didn't come here for that, but that would be the little update that I need to get out of the way. So, okay, I'm just going to do what I have for whips and whatnot real quick, and then we're going to go launch into the WIPGO and maybe some plans other than WIPGO. So in the month of November, I worked on, as I do every month since I started it in July, I've been working on Carolyn Manning's Beachcomber. And I started it, I worked on it, I think for the month of July and got whatever I got done. And then I divided it up over the course of a year. There's a needle in there. Can you see it? And figured I needed to do 1,900 stitches a month to finish it by next June or July. So every month I do 1,900 stitches. It's usually one of the first things I do in the beginning of the month, partly because I really like working on it. It stitches quick and I can do it without a magnifier. So I can do it like in the wee early hours of the morning when I am often up. But my eyes are like a little, they're not ready for the day. So they're not ready for serious stitching. So I work on this. So I actually started working on it yesterday, December 1st, and worked on it a little bit today and have done, I don't know, a few stitches. So will in this course of time finish this bottom quarter, and then I will move up to the top quarter and continue working. But often if I have a color in my needle, I will just keep going until I run out of it. Like I think I was working on like this, I think is 712. That was my most recent work. And so I will just kind of reach out into these areas that I'm not officially working on and, work on some of it until I run out of thread. I think there's an example of where I ran out of thread with one color. Right, like right here, whatever this blue was, I just used up the thread on that triangle. Very much enjoying that. Like the colorway, blues and browns, very beachy, which I like. I have no idea what I'm going to do with this, except this kind of launches into plans. I've mentioned this repeatedly though, is I bought, because you discover you like a designer. Well, I had been watching for a Carolyn Manning that was like in a colorway that I liked. Anyway, that's how I ended up with Beachcomber. And then I ran across Birthday Cake, which I just love, the pastels. So that I am going to start on my birthday, which is this month in December. Thank you for all the wishes and kind words and those kinds of things. I am not a birthday gift receiver. I'd rather not. My world is rich and full, and my family takes nice care of me when it comes to my birthday. Anyway, these are the colorways in there. Not nearly the number of threads that are in Beachcomber. So anyway, I plan to start that on my birthday and work on it. I'm trying to pretend I have a goal of like 5,000 stitches this month, but I don't really know. We will see what happens. I will work on that one, try to work on that one every month as well, but I need to stay on task with Beachcomber. And then when that's done, I can pull that one back into the monthly goal. Just because you can only do so many of those things. So those things are going on. I was going to mention when my subject of my birthday came up. I watched Daylene of So Grateful, Flosstube, and she was just such a sweet, sweet, sweet lady. So giving, so kind, who passed away this past year. But one thing that either I didn't pay close attention to or I missed it somewhere along the line was that she would, in honor of her birthday or around her birthday, she would donate the supplies needed to make birthday cakes to a local shelter or food pantry. I actually learned about it from watching Angie, one of my stitching friends, Bob Mai here on Flosstube, who said she wanted to do that. So that put an idea in my head, and but I kept thinking on it and thinking on it, and my church does a lot of work at a area food pantry thrift store, and I know that items like cooking oil are a luxury item. So if you gave, when you donate to a food pantry or when there's a food collection, if you donate items that require things like that, like cooking oil or eggs or milk, um, that could maybe be a challenge for who receives it. The director of the former director of the thrift store food pantry that my church works with, uh, was explaining to us how she will ask people when she gives them something like that if they bake, number one, and then tries to connect them with whatever it is she's given out, a brownie mix or whatever. So giving a cake mix and a 9 by 13 pan and a can of frosting, I was like, I don't know, that's not always the gift you think it is. And then all of a sudden on Facebook, I saw where somebody had posted a picture of the packages they had put together of the 9 by 13 pan with a cake mix, the frosting, and a can of soda, and the instructions, which, I, everybody must know about this, like anybody who bakes or I don't know. I've known about this for years that any cake mix, if you mix a soda with it, a can of ginger ale, whatever kind of thing, Sprite, stir it up, put it in the pan and bake it according to the directions on the box with none of the oil, eggs, milk, whatever else it calls for. It will make a cake. I mean, it might not be the most delicious cake you've ever had, but if baking a birthday cake is something that is outside of your wheelhouse, not your skill, but more like your ability to assemble those ingredients, this is a great solution. So I copied that and I put together, my goal was to put together 10 of those in honor of my birthday. I ended up with 12 because like the 9 by 13 pans were on sale at my grocery store for buy two, get one free, and they were double packs. So you buy four, two in a pack, you buy two of those, you got the other one free. And so then you had six. So then you go do that again, you got 12. And, the Sprite comes in a 12 pack. So I ended up with 12. The cake mixes were on sale for $1, like a good brand, name brand cake mix. And then I tried to get a little fancy with the frosting, funfetti or whatever stuff. And then I used to be the person who sent out birthday cards to people at church. We called it the sunshine. It actually was part of the ladies group that I did that for, and the ladies group has disbanded. So I have quite a collection of like very generic birthday cards. So I put a birthday card in. I printed out the instructions and I put birthday candles in there, which birthday candles are pricey, but if you go to the dollar store, you can get some birthday candles. And I took them over. Ooh, I'm sorry. I'm swinging my legs. Sorry. Kicked the ironing board you're sitting on. Took them over. We have in my town a couple different, there's a food pantry, and then there's another place where people could just stop in. No income requirement, no explanation. You just stop in, see what it is they have that you can use. I've been in there taking stuff in, and there's been like a table heaped with clothing. So, I don't know where they get their food. I don't know if they get money and they go to Food Link and buy food, or if it really is donations like from restaurants and grocery stores and people. So I took all those in a week or two ago. I will put a picture here. So that was my birthday wish, was that um, something that I do something like that. I would rather give something like that. I don't need to receive things. Again, my family spoils me, and my husband, and I can afford what I need and what I want. And so yeah, so that was kind of fun. So that's what I did in honor of my birthday. Yeah, I gave birthday cakes. I would have happily baked them all, but I know that's a problem. You can't necessarily do that in New York State anyway. The whole commercial baking, yeah, there's rules. There's rules. So anyway, did that. That was kind of cool. Worked on those 2 pieces of sew. So how'd we get there from here? Oh, the birthday cake, Carolyn Manning, and why I'm starting that on my birthday. Or, I'm starting that on my birthday. So what other whips did I work on? Well, let's look what's in my pile right here, which is not very big. I am doing, and I'm going to apologize. Oh, I don't even have a picture to show you. I'm apologizing for no picture because the pattern is on both sides. It's one of the craptastic reprints of a Prairie Schooler samplers. And there's this Christmas sampler, holiday sampler. I don't know what it's called, but it's 'twas the night before Christmas. And I started this and I worked on it just a tiny little bit. When I showed it to you last time, I had started the quilt that's on the bed because it's going to be Ma in her kerchief and I in my cap are there. And let me tell you, they have a king size bed. There is no doubt that this quilt, which runs side to side, is on a king size bed. That thing never ended. And then I did some more letters and look at, I want you all, I want credit. I want credit. I did the mouse. I don't do mice. I try not to. I try to avoid them at all costs. And if I have one in this house, there's going to be a cat that's coming to live with me. So anywho, I worked on it. And then I got to the letters that start to be in red. And the red called for, oh, excuse me for half a minute while I get my facts straight. It was calling for, okay, what is that color? And another thing about this, oh, color 918 to be red. And so 918 looks like, it's probably going to look red in this light. It does look red in this light. You stitch with it, it's very brown. It is really kind of sadly brown. So I went and I picked out 221. There, look at that. Can you tell how really brown that looks? And I like Christmas red, not bright red. In this case, it doesn't need to be bright red. So I swapped out. So next time I have to stitch some letters that are supposed to be in red, I will use 221. And maybe I'll make sure I have a picture, but I cannot pull that thing out of there and open it up and flip it around. I need to be able to read the pattern that's in the seam. So it is what it is. So I worked a little bit on that. I'm so surprised by how small it is. It's a small piece of fabric. Doing it on something. Doing it on an old piece of silk weaver from a million years ago, silk weaver called Cinnamon Roll, which is beautiful. I must have used it for something else because marked on the package is the size of the piece that was in there. Sad days that, you can't get that fabric in that quality easily. I think if you could get to one of the pop-up stores or whatever, you might be able to. So there was that. And then I actually had 2 finishes. Count them, 2. This one's no surprise, really. This is Caterpillar Crossings Holly Jolly Kitchen Mystery. And it is blurry. Don't adjust your screen. I ordered the kit, and so it's not showing you what it is. It's just giving you a hint. Parts came out every Tuesday. And last time I showed it to you, I had a couple parts done, and I had a few more to go. So the most recent part that I just finished was the apron and the shelf and the utensils hanging there. This was the one before it and the one before it. So November, I think, had 3 parts. So that was where we started, and I don't know, whatever. I just kept up with it. I didn't love it. I mean, I don't love it. What I didn't love was the colors. The colors are weird. And things that were red, were supposed to be red, are quite often orange. and I don't know. I just kept using the kit stuff and I just kept going. So it is what it is. It's interesting. The designer is not in the United States, so it's not like I expect everything to be what we're accustomed to. But I think had I known, maybe things were like, what is this? I don't know. It's not something that we commonly have at Christmas. And I think there's some other things that we don't commonly have at Christmas in here. But we're just going with it. I just did it. It's done. Everything's kit fabric, kit floss, which is DMC. So it's done. I did that. And then I finished. This was a random start last December. This is what I'm prone to doing, is all of a sudden I'll start like 3 things all at once. So last December I started Crochet Go-Go's I Believe in Christmas. Believe in Christmas. No I in front of it. Believe in Christmas. And I worked on it just a couple days. And at that point in time, I had the Santa done and the sleigh and maybe like 3 of these little white things. And it actually stitches up really quick. So there it is. I did it this month, and I was working to get it done by this video. So it's so cute. And surprisingly does stitch up quick. It's just DMC flosses. And I think one of the things that makes it stitch up quick is there's not shading. There's not a lot of shading anywhere. So when you pull out this thread to work on this reindeer's sweater, you're just going to use it till his sweater is done. My new favorite green, I think, is 3051. And I just, every time I had to pull it out, I'm like, oh, I love this green. So yeah, so I finished it. So the only whips I'm really carrying, well, okay, this is not a whip parade. The only whips I worked on that I didn't finish was Beachcomber. So that's really what I mean to say. December will be a different ball game, because in December I'm thinking about, I pulled out some things. Excuse me while I move some things to unearth my pile. I thought, I think I'll have to pull out a couple Christmas things maybe to give it a start. And so I pulled out a bunch of Christmas things, way more. I was thinking about one thing in particular, but then I found other things in particular. So I pulled this out and thought maybe I'd work on it once before. I know I say I don't do mice, but these are like little lady mice, like little, little grandma mice, something. And that's so cute and fully kitted. I think everything I pulled is fully kitted. And I have this, I have to read it. Here Comes Santa Claus. It is by Kanicki's. And it's done on fabric that's printed with the song, Here Comes Santa Claus. One of the things that bugs me is when she was doing it, she was worried about copyright. So she made the word clause end in an E, which kind of bugs me. And then I did on my own a conversion of this Santa to red. How it's going to work out, I don't know. I have this board though, so I'd really like to work on it. We'll see. I have another Crochet Go-Go pattern that caught my eye. It's the little Christmas market, a small Christmas market, a little Christmas market. It's so cute. Sorry, I'm not taking everything out of the packaging. That's just crazy talk, as my kids would say. This is not kitted up. It tends to have flosses that I would just have or could easily change to. And also laying in my stack of things that I really want to work on right now is We Wish You a Merry Winter, a Marjorie Massey pattern, along with this one. They're so cute. Not kitted up. So if I thought I was going to work on them and I pulled out fabric and then I didn't have the floss, then the whole thing just drops right there. This is the one I was really looking for when I set out to find a Christmas pattern to start. It is Sub Rosa's Santa Claus. See him laying there reading a book. I just think that's so cute. And I have fabric and I have floss, which I hope I have enough of the red. I know it takes a lot of the red. Did I just pull out one skein and call it good? Could be. Cherry cobbler. I might better look in my drawer because I believe that this guy, sorry, I should have done this before we met, but whatever. The discovery part is sometimes part of the fun. Cherry cobbler. No, I don't have. I am betting it takes several skeins of cherry cobbler. And I just ordered online from Back Quarter Shop this morning. But if I'm going to start it, I want to have. It actually calls for cayenne, and I've written on here cherry cobbler. I need to look in my drawer. A few years has gone by. It's hard to say what I might have amassed between now and then. I don't know. That's going to take a little work. So what are the chances I'm going to start it? We'll see. That one's been floating around in my brain for a while, though. So anyway, those are the plans. We still haven't gotten to the WIPGO stuff yet. Those are the potential plans. I wanted to show you that I got the frame for the peppermint, I don't know what it was called, Buttons and Beads Santa's Treats. I wrote it on there. Got the frame, popped it in, used my thingy that puts the cardboard in there. I also bought a frame last summer for Jolly Happy Soul. This is one of those packages that the title's one way, the picture's another way. And I had bought this frame at Hobby Lobby, and surprise, surprise, it does fit exactly the same amount of border. The thing that throws it off is this kind of is a rough edge, and there's a white snowflakes way up there at the top. So it looks like there's a lot of room up there and none down here, but there's a little bit. There's a couple threads. But I love the rustic look of this frame. Just bought it at Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby. Nothing exciting. And one more that I put in the frame was the Stitchery Parlors Trick or Treat Lane, which I finished, I don't know how long ago. I took a whole bunch of things shopping at Hobby Lobby last spring and bought what frames or finishing things I could for what I had, and it was I found things for 3 pieces, and I think I've framed them all now. I don't remember what the other one was, but it's been shown, it's been framed and shown, and you all have seen it. I just don't know what it was. So that one's done. I should gather up more things and take them to Hobby Lobby because I say I don't have anything left. If I was FFOing in some manner other than framing, I probably have some more things I could be doing, but nothing. I'm not inspired by anything I have done to make it into anything. So there we go on those things. Okay, let's talk about WIPGO. So I did WIPGO for the first time 2 years ago, and I really liked it. But it was sort of at odds with the way that I stitch, which is I like to do one major project, one big project work on it for a month, and then pick one of my smaller projects and work on that at the same time. Quite often I finish that smaller one. I call those medium-sized pieces. But on WIPGO, when I put like my large projects on there multiple times, so they would be chosen multiple times in a year, sometimes, and I think this might have happened twice that year, the large projects got picked at the same time. So that was the only thing, which is fine by me. But it shortchanged that big project. So I was trying to figure out a way to make it work where I could have my larger projects on there multiple times and they wouldn't get called at the same time. And I don't know, I just wasn't feeling it. I don't carry a whole lot of WIPs like I have after these 2 finishes. I think I have 14 WIPs. Some of them are very large. Some of them, there's one that I kind of I'm not really doing anything with right now. Not my Heaven and Earth design. That one's excused from all categories. That one is still something I really want to work on. Just timing isn't worked so much, and the place where I have to set that up, whatever. I'm not making excuses. So, anyway, in the last 2 months, I haven't worked on any big project. I've only worked on small stuff, medium stuff. I don't know that that means I'm falling away from my large projects. I think it just means life is very choppy right now, and I need something more satisfying to work on. I don't know. Okay, so we went around the block a long way to get to the fact of how I'm doing WIPGO. I didn't do it last year and I kind of missed it, or in 2024 and I missed it. So I was thinking about what can I do? What can I do? How can I make this work? So I decided I was going to do what I'm going to call WIPGRO. If anybody who's been watching me for a long time knows, I don't start things. I kit them up. I think that's what I really like, is kitting it up. Like some people say, I just want to start it. No, I just want to kit it up. So I have lots of things kitted up, ready to go, because that's what I like to do. Again, what am I going to do? How am I doing this? I've never had a ton of WIPs. I've done Stitch Mania before. Started all the things, 14, 15, 16, 17 things, 16 things, whatever it was. I was at a point, I did that for a year or two and didn't love it. So then I kind of modified it where I was going to pick like the 10 largest things that needed concentration and work on those for 3 days each. I think that's what I was doing. I think I had 7 big things I worked on for 3 days each. And then I had a bunch of smaller things I was going to do for 1 day each. Maybe 8 big things, maybe not, I don't know. By the end of working on something for 3 days and something for 3 days and something for 3 days, I was done. I didn't even work on my little things that were going to be just a 1 day assignment. I think 3 days just isn't long enough for me when it's a big project, an involved project, any project. So I didn't like that. And I might have even slipped into that kind of mania where whatever you worked on day 1 last year, if you're not done with it, that's what you work on day 1 again this year. So I let Stitch Mania go in the early 2020s, if not before that. And I remember working on it in this house, which we moved to right like 10 minutes before the pandemic shut the world down. So that was this winter of 2020. So I don't know. Anyway, that's not what you care about. You still care about what it is I'm going to do that I keep not telling you. So WIPGRO. So I decided I was going to put 24 starts on a WIPGO board and start them. Work on them however much I worked on them in a month. I'd still like to have, I still have like Beachcomber I'd like to do 1900 stitches on, which some months is quicker than other months. And then once I start Birthday Cake, that too will be getting work done. And then I don't want to neglect everything else because I've got 2 new starts and a dozen things I'm not touching for the year. So my intent is to continue to touch what I've already got started and what I start in December. And those maybe will over time fade away as they get finished. But my WIPGO board, I would like to keep whatever's in box number 1 in box number 1 if I don't finish it in 2025. So then there's only however many number of new starts in the subsequent years as there are finishes in the previous year. Not to say I can't start anything I want. When I gathered up all my patterns and I'm so excited about the knowledge I'm going to start these in 2025, I look at all my other patterns and I think, oh, you poor things, you're not going to get started, not in the next year anyway, which they're sitting over there not getting started anyway, but now they know they're not getting started. I know I'm not going to start them. So we'll see how this works out. And, yeah, so in 2025, I'm growing my WIPs. So I went through, kind of just pulled out everything that was like close to the surface that was kitted up where I wanted to start. And then I made a pile. There's my pile. And then I got serious about it. I printed out a board from, I don't know, sorry. I bought it on Etsy. And then it didn't print with the color it's supposed to print with because my printer decided it wasn't going to print blue. And I counted out my pile of stuff, and I actually ended up with 25 things. So now I don't have a free space. And I went through and I made a list of all the things that needed, all the flosses I needed. And I only needed like, I don't know, maybe a dozen DMCs and less than a dozen of fancy flosses that I needed to order. And then one or two of them needed fabric. And I actually have one that I'll show that I think I need to find fabric for. So here's my WIPGO board. My plan is to put it inside of my 2025 planner, which, I have been using the planner for a number of years, the book of days. I can't get my hands on a book of days, and it's really starting to annoy me because here we are into December and I don't have a book of days. So Amazon is sending me a monthly planner that appears to be similar in size and layout. And I'm done waiting because now I'm annoyed. I hear about people have a store that sold out of them, a store that got a whole shipment that they're altering to add extra pages and bind it. They have gotten all those. Why can't I get my hands on one anywhere? I don't, there's problems everywhere with, I don't care. I want a planner for 2025. So Amazon is sending me one. It's supposed to be here today. So that's my book of days sad story for 2025. Okay, so that's again not what you're here for. You're here to hear about my WIPGO plans. So the first number one is Dancer. So let me pull them out. I don't mean to keep leaning out of the screen, but they're on a box on the floor, in a box on the floor. And they're various sizes. So there's some of them are way down in there. So, oh my gosh, what the heck? Excuse me for half a minute. All right then, I don't know what that edit looked like, but on my end, holy guacamole. So yeah, I started to go through my bin, which I organized, numbered, everything was in order, and everything couldn't have been more epically out of order. It's like somebody dumped it and just shoved everything back in, which wasn't me. So I really don't know what happened. So then I was we were chatting about it while I tried to sort it, thinking it wasn't that out of order, but it was a mess. It was everywhere, everything out of order. And then somebody knocked on the door, not just knocked, but there's like pound, 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 pound on the front door. It was the UPS man delivering a big box. So that he needed a signature for. So yeah, it's been so then I really got serious about organizing it and thought I'll just clip it back in here. And I can't pause, like there's no pause button when using my iPad. You just stop, that's it, and start again, and then you join them. So okay, because you just blinked your eyes and I'm back and organized. Maybe you watched a little bit of the mess happen, I'm not sure. So WIPGO number one is Dancer. And of course, you never know the order that these things are going to be called in. So here's what I learned, having spilled them all over the floor. Tags have the name, tags have a number. The other side of the tag needs the same information because then I'm flipping. So Dancer was a pattern that I believe came out in a magazine, Punch Needle Primitive Stitcher. And oh dear, there's no picture. Dancer. He's by sorry. Also no name on here. I think it's Barbara Anna. There's a couple other pages put in here that I printed. I printed it from the magazine, the E version of the magazine. I think it's Barbara Anna, but I'll figure it out before it's what's drawn. And I have the called for fabric and threads kind of in there in a shambles mess. I mean, there's a floss keeper in here that went, I don't know where. into some corner of the project bag, but nothing's on it. The bobbins are all down in there. So yeah, watch this be floss choice number 1, although everything I think is there. So now, because I'm not like moving them into another box, they're just going on the floor. So I will be recapturing this mess once again. So WIPGO call number 2 and number 4 are in the same bag, because they kind of used lots of things that were the same flosses, and I will put them on the same fabric. So one of them is When Pumpkins Glow with Thy Needle and Thread. I have a piece of Picture This plus doubloon, and the robins are here, also by With Thy Needle and Thread. I'm trying to get the little glare off. Who knew? It would be kind of like that today. So those are 2 and 4. Oh no, there's actually a different fabric in here. I think they got in there together because I ran out of project bags or handy dandy, and the floss pulling, there's a lot of crossover. So 2 is When Pumpkins Glow, and 4 is The Robins Are Here. And why they're separate like that is, I don't know. Don't ask. Just don't ask. It's just better that way. Why they're not in like number 2, number 3, I have no idea. Number 3 is, oh, The Village Tree, which is a Stony Creek. I have all the village, like fall and the village and spring and whatever, but this one I love. I keep looking at this one. But look at that. I mean, it's not that big of a, it looks like a shambles. There's empty spaces because I had to buy some more floss. That is a ton of floss for a piece that's not that big. I picked a piece of, you'll just have to be surprised, I guess. Don't know. I usually try really hard to keep my fabric labels available. It's not in the box. It's not on here. I don't see it written anywhere. Suspense. That's just gonna be, it's just gonna be how that one goes. Number 4. Number 5. Oh, 4 was with number 2, so we visited that already. Number 5 is Sampler Season Spring. Look at this. That it's crinkled up because it was shoved in there, I guess. Smushed in there. I don't know. Isn't that pretty? Called for is Madison Rose, Weeks Dye Works, which is very pretty. I don't know what the called for fabric, to me, fabric is just a suggestion. There's no called for that I'm worried about. It looks like a piece of, excuse me, Dusty Road by Seraphim Fabrics. Excuse me. I have dried my throat out with all this drama. That one will be pretty. So there's no size limitation on my WIPGO. There's stuff that I should, without a problem, be able to finish within the year, within the month, when it's called, no guarantee. And pieces that will be long term. Number 6. Oh, this is a good one. I've been dreaming about this one for a long time. So a number of years ago, a friend at a stitching get together was stitching on this piece. She was stitching on this piece. And I had never once in my life heard of Mary Gary's sewing cabin, Mary Gary's sewing cabinet, the ice skating party. And I just loved the primitive, whimsical look of it. So this is the one I am intending to do. I stalked, Stash Unload Facebook sites, Stash Unload and Stash Unloading, until I came across that one and was the first one to find it. So I snagged that. we're not going over what my project bags are. I don't know all of them. I buy them because I like the fabric. Number 7 is the 4th of July rules, which I really thought I was going to start this past summer, but I did not. Mostly there was some agony over fabric. So that's where that one got left off. But I bought the color and cotton conversion for it. And I was kind of playing around with getting some fabric flare, patriotic fabric to do it on because I saw somebody had done that. And then I thought I didn't want to buy it without being able to hold the flosses up to it because whoever had done it, I hadn't done the color and cotton conversion. And I just thought one conversion is enough, one creative element. So I have a piece of Fawn by Picture This Plus to do that on. So that'll be a fun one to look forward to. They're all things I want to stitch very much. And I'm excited that they are in the queue for 2025. Number 8 is Jack in the Hat, which is a threadwork primitives. Kitted with some fabric and well, unless I do a conversion, I don't really change floss. And then I just look for a fabric that looks like a very piece of neutrally something or other in there. When they get started, if there's something to talk about the fabric, we will. But right now, it doesn't matter. This one I've had on my wish list for a long time was Simple Joys by Little House Needleworks. And it's with a piece of 28 count cream casual linen and called for threads. This is how this one's kitted up. I have lots and lots and lots of Little House and Country Cottage that I seem to have moved away from stitching. But there it is. So that was Simple Joys was number 9. Number 10 is Homeward Bound, which is a Tasha Tudor kit that I ordered. I had done the Christmas Heralds. Her artwork is really fun. In a little tiny project bag that's not officially big enough for it. But again, I think I had used up any project bags that were handy because when I kit things up, they go into project bags. So yeah. See how it doesn't fit? This is really just like a companion bag. But it, you know, like I have freed up 2 bags right now with the things I finished in November, so. Number 11 is Patriotic Scissor Pocket. The Scarlet House. Kitted with called for flosses and a piece of very creamy neutral fabric. What is kind of light is that one? Checking the time. I got something to finish for my Christmas Guild, my Quilt Guild Christmas party tonight, and this day is ticking away. Number 12 is Take Me Out to the Ball Game. This is another one I thought I would start this summer. I am a fair weather baseball fan. About the only sport I can tolerate hearing on TV is baseball. I cannot stand the sound of sports announcers on TV. And but I can handle baseball. And fair weather only because like I get excited about it when it gets to be playoffs or something really fun's going to happen, like somebody's going to break a record in the next couple games. This one I didn't start it even though I had all the floss and stuff. I think I couldn't focus. I couldn't figure out a fabric. This is a piece of Sampler Gold Joblin by Picture This Plus. No, Color and Cotton. Duh, you're reading it. I used to be in the Fabric of the Month Club. Probably that's where that came from. That was 12. Number 13, which is the overflow piece, which funny enough, this was the overflow piece. I need to look in here. I don't see any floss, but maybe it's in there. Oh, it's one of these Little House Needleworks little kits where you got like, there's like 5 colors in there or something, and when you bought it you got that, but I think maybe you had to add the fabric. It's been a long time. It's copyright 2006. This in theory will be quick, but you never know. On the day I start it, I could have a very busy day, so there's no such thing as quick. So that's 13, 14. Oh, let's see, 14's a good one. 14 is Candy Cane Wishes by Brenda Gervais. Isn't that pretty? Put it away. I'm not starting it this month. Wait until it's called. Put it away. Quit looking at it. 15. Oh, this is an interesting one. There's a note on here that I think I might need to pick larger fabric. So it is Scarlet House, no, Scattered Seed Samplers Spring Delivery. And there's a piece, I don't know if you call it a companion piece. This one says 1, 2, 3 on it, and the other one has ABC on it. Also a rabbit, also holding something. I would like to do those together. I thought I had it. I went through everything. I can't find it. So it is in a order that is coming to my house. So I have to, when it gets here, and figure out, can I do them both on one piece? That would be my goal. That's why this says larger fabric. A note that maybe I need larger fabric. So that's Spring Delivery, number 15. Number 16 is called Be of Good Cheer. Scarlet House one. I've had this one forever. With, look at that. Oh man. Those flosses, as precious as they are, should be being used. The needlepoint silks. Oh, except they shouldn't be being used in December, January, February, March, April until my fingers. It doesn't matter how much lotion you use. So hopefully this gets called in a season where my fingers won't be catching and pulling that silk. All right, number 18. Nope, 17. Eliza's French Birds. This one has been much often showed. So somebody just showed this. Oh, Welcome Stitchery, they showed it. Somebody had done it and framed it, and you know, the two ladies that do the show do that video. One was coveting the other one's picture frame, which came from Michael's, but I had seen where somebody got the frame from Amazon. So I think it's supposed to come out so it fits in a 5x7. So there were lots of choices. I do not believe this is the one that somebody showed. I got this one. Isn't that cool? I think that'll look perfect in there. Yeah, so I have that frame. It's taken up space in all my cross-stitch storage, so it needs to get worked on and done. 2025 is its year. So all right, that was number 17. Also in a little bag, a little teeny tiny bag, but the pattern is really small, like a little size pattern, a baby size. This one, I'm excited about this one. This is Sugar Plum Village, a Shannon Christine designs piece. Oh, I love this. You know, in the United States, we don't really have anything like the European Christmas markets, and so anything that reminds me of that. I know this is a village, not really a market, but still. Looking forward to that one, and that one's called. And number 19 is the Chris Kindle Market. This one is a Christmas market. So this one is a Pickle Barrel Designs pattern that there's a whole bunch of little parts to it, and you can do them all together like that. So I have all the parts. The hot cider booth. Everything's slippery. Everything in plastic's slippery. The nuts and the header. Oh, okay. I know that's a little blip in the video, but I had to FaceTime with the granddaughter who likes to call me every day when she's having her snack, or some point in the day. She likes to have grandma talk to her. So I was showing you the Chris Kindle Market pattern pieces. There's the pretzel wagon, the glass stand, and ornaments, and a patisserie, which I'll have to look that word up because I want it to be baked goods, but I don't really know. Pastry, probably. Patisserie. Probably that's what it is. So that is number, what did we say? That's number 19. So we are making our way there. Sorry, I saw a piece of paper go flying into the box, but it was just a note about what fabric that was coming, but I already have fabric, so I'm assuming it's out of that particular one. Number 20. Number 20. Oh, this is a cute little one. Is autumn seasonal salt box, a Manny Jadana pattern. I like the little laundry, the clothesline scene. '21 is a 4th of July in a jar. That is a Madame Chantilly pattern. I've liked that since the absolute minute it came out. Oh, this is a good one. Oh, did I? What? 21. Okay, 22. I thought I skipped one there. 22. This one had to grow on me. I'm going to say that. Olga's stocking. I was seeing it for years and had no interest in it. And then all of a sudden, I needed it. So Olga's stocking is number 22. '23. Oh, this is such a cute one. Is one of the treats, Deck the Home treats by the Trilogy. Let me see that. It's a kit, so I don't want to take it out of its little baggie yet because it's got all those little flosses in little baggies. Excuse me. 24. I see a lopsided Christmas theme here. Like there's more Christmas than anything else. That's kind of how it goes with me. Ho, ho, ho. Merry and Bright. A Brenda Gervais, or with a needle and thread. Brenda Gervais. Lots of white. I get really attached to white. And actually, this is kitted with silks. I wonder if those are called for. I think I've had it for a while. Pretty sure I've had it for a while. And finally, number 25 is a Barbara Anna Designs Holy Night. Love that. Love that, love that. So, 2025 is going to be an exciting stitching year with all these new starts that, as long as I stick with it, I will be working on. And I don't know if I have to revamp my box plan here, seeing as, you know, we've had a couple accidents. It's the irregular size of the project bags, but everything's slippery. Patterns are slippery. Project bags are slippery. So anyway, so yeah, that's exciting. Okay, let's do this. Let's talk about this, because if I don't mention it, even if I do mention it, people are going to ask me. I believe in snowmen, a Bunny Hill Designs pattern. Lots of hand embroidery. I did all of that. I believe it was a block of the month. but for some reason, my recollection is I did a whole lot of these blocks when I was in Florida one summer. So I don't think I did them as they came in, or maybe it was a kit, but I don't know. But they're just like the, where is the snowman on? Oh, I just love it. So, so cute. So this is appliqued. Everything's appliqued. And then all of it's hand embroidered. And then there's piecing. Those log cabin blocks are pieced. And yeah, it's so cute. Love it. I haven't had that one out in a few years. I don't have room like I don't even think I used to have room. I had room for more quilts before in our old house. This house is very open and chopped up into small walls and lots of windows. So, okay, there's that. And I was going to show this. It's laying right here, waiting for me to take it. My Quilt Guild, our November program is always quick gifts. And so the program committee, we each, I'm not on it this year, but I'm going to pretend I am because I've been on it lots of times. We each choose a item or a thing or two that's like a quick gift and demo it like in a round robin, like people move around the room in small groups, go to each table. So one of the things they showed this year was how to make a onesie like a baby nightgown. So I had this flannel Winnie the Pooh fabric. So it's so cute. You don't dismantle the onesie. It's still in there. So it's just, and then it gives you that like little bit of something, something to cover the legs. And it is just so sweet, so cute. Our instructions were like 5 or 6 steps on a typed handout, but I know you can go on YouTube and find turning a onesie into a sleeper or whatever kind of thing. Just Google it on YouTube, search it on YouTube. And then this, I have to show this because this was fun. The first time I discovered this. So I like to build puzzles. I don't build them as much as I'd like. Oftentimes, you know, it dominates the dining room table or whatever. But this, I got the first time I ran across this was, these were 2 winters ago. 2021, 22, I don't remember. It is an Advent puzzle. So I have a friend that we do a Christmas gift exchange, and I sent her gift, this portion of her gift at Thanksgiving, and said, open it. And so the inside is like this. And so I've already done day 1 because yesterday was December 1st. And every day you pull out one of the boxes, and it is a continuation of the puzzle. It's so cute. It is just, to me, it's just fun. I always have liked Advent calendars. Always, always, always. When the kids were growing up, we always had a candy one where, you know, you ate the candy each day. When I was 8 years old, my grandmother sent us a package that had 3 Advent calendars in them, and it was a long felt, red felt fabric. It had a snowman on the top, I think, or a Santa Claus on the top. And every day you ate the peppermint candy that was on there, and it starts at the bottom and you work your way up. So as it gets closer and closer to Christmas. And to me, as an 8-year-old, that was the best thing ever in the world. And so every year we wanted my mother to buy the peppermint candies so we could refill our thing. I just, the warm and fuzzy memories I have of that. So I had stitched one, and we had the candies on it, and the kids, somebody would cut it off every day. They'd take turns. I don't know. Nobody fought about it. They had the system worked out, and there was a basket on the counter of the same candy. So whoever cut one off, they weren't the only one that got the little peppermint candy. Everybody could have one if they wanted one. I don't do that one anymore because, you know, but I still enjoy some sort of Advent countdown to Christmas thing. And so this is the second of the puzzles. Maybe next year I'll pull out the last one again. You know, the one I did last time. Last time we got a little hiccup in my Advent calendar building. It was downstairs in the family room on it. We have like a kitchen table, except it's the higher up ones, a high boy kind. So, you know, everybody can play cards or game or whatever on it and build a puzzle or whatever. So I was doing it on there, one section every day. And then my husband, these were in the early COVID years where you quarantined even in your own house. And my husband got COVID and he had to quarantine down in the basement where there's bedrooms and a family room and, you know, perfectly comfortable, lovely house space down there. And he could work from home down there and stuff. And So I couldn't go down there and work on it for like a week. So so that kind of took the fun out of it. So this year I'm hoping there's no hiccups in it. I will be up at our other house for a couple nights. So, um, you know, I'll work ahead, or I don't know. I don't know. Something will work out just fine. So, all right. So with a lot of interruptions, see, that's how my day generally goes. There's a lot of things that interrupt my day. So working on like patterns that pieces and things that have a lot of intensity. Especially on a day when I know there's going to be interruptions, like I'm doing the laundry, I have a sewing thing I have to get done in the next couple hours. I had to bake some cookies to take a cookie plate to my guild meeting tonight, and I had some errands to do, and I don't even know what all else. There's still in my front hallway a bunch of boxes of Christmas things. I have not figured out whether they're going to get displayed or put away or what. I have in my brain a couple ideas of things I want to do in little areas. Yeah, I don't know. Christmas is rolling up on us fast. I talked last year about the flocked Christmas tree that I put in our family room and how annoying that thing was. And it requires much vacuuming and changing of your clothes after you put it up, and then again after you put it away. And I was thinking about replacing it, getting rid of it, but I just can't, I was having a hard time. So somebody in the comments is like, just get rid of it already or something. So anyway, if anybody cares and watch that saga and thinks about it, we put it out by the side of the road with the sign. What really finally did it was last year, as the just within a day or two of Christmas, the strings of lights started to give out. It was a pre-lit tree. So not only do you have all the ornament on, off, assembly, disassembly that gets the flocking all over the places, you would now have the light removal. Every time you put lights on it and took lights off of it. So put it out by the side of the road with a sign on it that said it was free, that the lights don't work. And my husband dropped it off on his way to go do something and came back 2 hours later and it was gone. So I'm glad to have somebody enjoy a Christmas tree that is more than happy to deal with the light issue. And, whatever. Have at it, have fun, throw it away, pass it on if they discover the same problems I had. Yeah. But I like to decorate for Christmas. Yeah. I'm trying a little bit to pare down. We'll see how possible that is. So I hope everybody has a fabulous, if you celebrate, fabulous pre-season to Christmas and Christmas. Just to me, that's just one of the warm and fuzzy times a year. It was like that when I was a kid. Christmas was always a good season. So I think I've made it that way for my kids who still enjoy coming home for Christmas. So we do all the things. We have a really fun day on Christmas Eve day. This year, because I got a bunch of adult kids, they want to just go off and watch soccer on TV or play a video game or whatever. The cohesiveness is kind of lost a little tiny bit. So this year we're having an Olympics, and not physical Olympics, it's brain Olympics. So I've got some challenges worked out. So we'll have some fun on Christmas Eve day. That's that plan. And the rest of the plans are still coming together. But I try to have fun foods on Christmas Eve day. Just fun stuff. The stuff you wish you could eat. I don't know. Cheese and crackers and shrimp and whatever. We haven't quite worked it all out yet. So, yeah. All right. So everybody have a good one. I will chop this all together in the next day or two and get it loaded. Have a good one. Bye.